Well, hello, and howdy doody to you, Tootie. Welcome back to Two Bald Dads. That's right, you're back with the dads for another big episode after a big weekend. Guys, my name's Chris, and I'm not alone. I'm here by everyone's favourite. I'm here with a Steel Town girl on a Saturday night looking for the fight of her life. Matt, welcome, Matt.
Hello, Chris. What an intro.
I told you I had an intro.
You did tell me that you had an intro, but I didn't realise it would be so personal to me. It's like you've summed me up in a sentence there.
Well, Matt, don't be such a maniac about it.
Okay. All right. I think it was better when it was subtle, and I was trying to place it. I was stuck on journey.
Yeah.
But that's you.
Yeah, I'm
a small town girl living in a lonely world.
Yeah.
Who took the midnight train going anywhere.
Yeah, that is me. That is me.
But thank you. We are back, coming in hot. We've gone up the mountain. We plateaued on Sunday, and then we've come crashing down.
That's it.
So we're on the come down from Mother's Day.
We are. So anyone who listened last week, and look, if you're listening to this sometime in the future as well, we've just come off the back of a huge Mother's Day. Some could say it was one of the biggest. They reckon your wife's second Mother's Day is arguably the biggest Mother's Day.
It's the Diamond Mother's Day. It's the Jubilee.
It's the biggest Mother's Day they'll ever do, I reckon.
We're a couple of guys. I always say, Chris, pressure creates diamonds.
God, so true, Matt.
Not only is that scientifically correct, it's correct for us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not in this case. If I had to say that the pressure got to me, I would be understating it.
We are like, how would you say, Matt? Origami.
Yeah, exactly.
We folded under pressure.
Very good. Very good. For all our Japanese listeners out there, I know we've got a big following in Japan.
Yeah, konnichiwa, guys. Yeah. Mushy mushy. Yeah.
I don't know. That's a Japanese wave that I've done.
Very good, Matt.
You will see my Japanese wave and be able to use it on your own Japanese friends if you're tuning in live via Facebook's partner, YouTube.
That's it. We are on the YouTubes again.
And Chris, what's our channel name?
To say that it's Two Bald Dads.
That wasn't taken?
No, it wasn't, funnily enough. Two Bad Dads was taken, though.
Well, I think they're scooping our gimmick there a little bit.
It's classic stuff. But look, we had a great big weekend. We had a tremendous weekend. But and we'll rip into that. We'll rip into that in much further detail later in the show. Matt and I are trying this new video form, but we've got two cameras between us now. So
all I can see is Chris on the camera, except we're in the same room here. We may as well be doing this remotely.
I'm trying to peer over the cameras to see if Matt's still listening.
I feel like we're at work and you peer over the petition.
Yeah, over the petition. You're like, what are you getting for lunch?
What are you getting for lunch? And I'm like, fuck off.
I hate that guy.
Yeah.
But Matt, let's rip right into it. Let's rip into our dad moment of the week. What have you got for me, young buck?
Okay, Chris. Well, I've got a bit of it's a dad moment in the way that I took a leaf out of your book. It's not often that I come to you for advice, as we've been very well documented on the pod.
Because it's quite often bad advice.
I'm 6 weeks a better dad than you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But there's one part of you that I think you excel, and that's selfishness. So I thought, look, I'll take the opportunity. There was a lull in the day. My son was asleep. My wife didn't want me around, so I thought, hey, why not go to the gym?
Nice one. Treat yourself. Was this on Mother's Day?
No, it wasn't. It was previous to Mother's Day. But I thought, what better gift could I give than me looking my best? Also, I hadn't decided on a gift at that point, so I was scrambling for ideas. And Chris, you know, my body is my work of art. I'm a living, breathing work of art as I work. I'm sort of in the still. If I was to be a block of marble, I'm still being chiseled through.
Okay, all right. Okay,
I'm not at my end state yet.
No,
but And so
Nearly there. Nearly there.
very close. It's weird. It seems to be a block of marble that really yo-yos off and on with putting more rock on and off, you know. But anyway, I've gone into the gym and strutted in as only I can. And as I do most times when I go to the gym, I step on the scales to weigh myself.
Got to check in.
Got to check in. It's a bit of self-reflection. It lets me know how much I can hate myself that day.
Of course, yeah.
But you know, I stepped on the gym scales these days, and I trust these scales because I trust them very well. And I was like 5 kilos lighter than I had ever been.
Yeah.
Well, not ever. Like I obviously hit it on the way up.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
At some point. But I was like, oh, sweet, this is like lighter than I was at my wedding. This is the lightest I've been in years. I'm thinking, you know, I've been off the meat for a little bit. I think I must be doing something right. Well, I'm off the meat on weekdays.
You are looking lean.
Thank you. Like the meat, I'm not eating. And I thought, this is great. And I instantly think that means I can eat double today.
Of course, yes.
Have an instant cheat day. Anyway, I was feeling on top of the world. I was walking along, you know, and I think it's a bit of a mental thing. I was looking in the mirrors at the gym, which is what I do for the most time that I'm there.
Yeah, of course. Why else do you go to the gym? The lighting's better.
Exactly.
The mirrors are better.
And I was like, I do look thin. I look thin. Like I'm looking great. Not only am I looking thin, I'm looking buff as well.
All right. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, no, I was really full of myself that day. Anyway, as I've done my workout, and I was like, I don't even need to do this workout, but I'll just do it.
Yeah,
got to keep it up. Anyway, as I was leaving, I saw them recalibrating the scales of the gym. There was a technician there with a weight on it, fixing up the scales, and I went home and weighed myself on the scales at home, and I'd put on weight. And I was like, oh, what a roller coaster of emotions today has been.
You know what? That reminds me. I did when I used to go up to the gym up here. I went with my wife, and we like to do the little weighing, but she doesn't let me. She doesn't let me see. She's like, don't look at this.
Yeah, you never ask a woman her age and then her weight.
Her weight, yeah. And she went to weigh in, and I'd snuck up behind her.
Oh, nice.
And put my foot on the scale.
Prank.
It's a classic prank. And I thought she was going to like turn around and be like, what the hell's going on sort of thing. She did not. She hopped straight off and scurried away. And I'm like, babe, what was it? She's like, oh, don't worry about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm like...
She's like... And she's putting 2 fingers down her throat. Oh, we shouldn't laugh. Bulimia is not funny. But,
no. But I was like, it literally said you were 20 kilos heavier than what you are. Like...
She's like, oh, I've made a horrible mistake. I shouldn't have had that Tim Tam. I knew it.
She's like, it's only cardio for the next 4 hours.
She's like, Chris, clear your schedule. Put the treadmill up as fast as it will go and don't let me get off.
I thought she was going to do those, you know, like when the celebrities want to shred, like, you know, the athletes shred weight, they put like cling wrap around them in the plastic suits to sweat it out.
She puts the garbage bag on her. Or as the French say, garbage.
Garbage, yes, very good.
Well, that's very cruel of you, Chris. Yeah. Very cruel and
funny little joke.
Yeah, it's good to know. You
gotta have these sort of jokes.
It's a real window into your mind of how you force your wife to stay thin.
Matt.
Otherwise, you tell her you'll leave her.
Well, I'm at home,
and she looks great. Don't get me wrong.
She looks great all the time.
Yeah, she does.
She's a tremendous weight, whatever it is, because I don't know what it is, and I'll never know.
Well, you don't know what her true weight is because you're always bumping up the numbers.
Well, and I'm actually recalibrating our scales here all the time.
I know a guy. So anyway, that was quite a weird time for me. You know, I took a time out for myself. Thought I was doing a world of good. Yeah. Just ended up with more self-esteem issues.
Okay. Well done, Matt. But
Chris, what have you got?
Well,
what sort of self-esteem issues do you have?
Well, how's this, Matt? This week, this last Saturday just gone, my wife left me alone with my child. Rookie move.
Very brave of her.
She had to go get ready, and we were just a couple of blokes watching a bit of footy. Just on the mat.
I mean, you probably wanted to do some real interactive play.
Yeah. I was like, can we read a book? Can we do puzzles together?
Yeah.
And he's like, not in words, but with what he was sort of gesturing.
He threw a dummy.
He's like, no, I really want to watch Manly versus New Zealand Warriors. You know what I mean?
What a marquee game.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's a big New Zealand Warriors fan. His first words were Kia ora to me. Anyway, I was sitting down on the ground because I like to be, interact with my son, and he was sitting on his little lounge chair. And I'd got a little bit excited by an event that had happened, and I'd knocked over my beer. Clumsy Chris, as they call
Dick
me.
Fingers.
Dick Fingers, yeah. Very clumsy, famously clumsy. So I thought I better clean this up.
You're the Tom Cruise of clumsiness.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So I thought I better clean this up before my wife comes down and sees this. So I got up to go and then my son heard me get up.
Yeah.
So he starts to get up, and I'm like, "Stay there, son. I'll be back in a jiffy." Anyway, I come back with hand towel paper. I come around the corner to see my son running towards me through the puddle of beer.
Oh, yeah, good.
Well, he fell over and ate shit into my puddle, into said puddle of beer. So not only did I have to clean up the beer off the ground, I then had to go and change my son, who was ready for his day out. We were both ready for our day out.
There's nothing worse.
And my wife's like, "I'm going to get ready now. You two don't fall in any puddles of beer."
No one fall in any beer. Any sort of alcohol.
Any alcohol, just avoid it. I've now got a crying child who smells like, Christian Slater. And I was like, "You've ruined your outfit."
Oh, God.
I was like, "Wait till your mother hears about this."
Can't you see your drinking is ripping this family apart?
And I was like, pretty clumsy. I quickly got him changed, tidied up the lounge.
Good, sobered him up.
My wife was none the wiser until I told her what happened.
I had a similar situation this morning. Yeah. My son's he's off the high chair. He's onto a regular chair. How many beers
were you having this morning?
Oh, I have a breakfast. calms my crippling anxiety. But and he fell off the chair, but luckily fell into a washing basket with some washing in there. So no harm, no foul.
Nice.
But I just figured I had to tell her, just in case he had some scratches. Yeah. Better to get out in front of this sort of stuff. It's like when you say something horrible on the pod, and you instantly have to go and tell your wife, so she doesn't hear it for the first time on the pod.
Or she doesn't hear someone else hear it first and then tell her about it before she's heard of it. Worst is third hand. Yeah.
Second worst, second hand. They're generally in
how's
order.
this though, Matt, and you can vouch for me on this. We give our wives the opportunity to listen to this before it goes live.
We do.
And they quite often say, "We trust you." And I'm like, "You really shouldn't."
Yeah, well, I mean, history has not been kind to us. History has not been kind to us.
If there's something you want to edit, please tell us now.
We'll get rid of it. Otherwise, it's going out there. It's going out there.
It's going out to the tens of fans that listen on the podcast and the single-digit fans that watch on YouTube.
Yeah, well...
Whoever you are.
You creeps. You absolute creeps. I couldn't imagine putting yourself through this, watching our ugly mugs. But if you do, thanks. And if you do like what we've been doing, please get in touch. twobaldads69@hotmail.com, twobaldads_pod at instagram.net, or YouTube at twobaldads.org.
Sure.
I believe.
Sure. At bigpond.org.
Yes. Funnily enough, is there anyone under 60 that has at Big Pond?
A Big Pond account?
My parents do.
Yeah, my parents do too.
Because it was when they set up the internet in 1997.
And they got given the email address.
I'm keeping this till the day I die.
Matt, do we have time for
I think we've got time.
Your mother-in-law's email address? It's one of the greats.
Yeah, well, my mother-in-law recently decided to retire.
And congratulations to her.
Big congratulations to her. She's a big fan.
She tunes in most weeks.
Yeah. So I'm being the IT professional. I was asked to help her out with an email address. She called me up because she couldn't use her work email address, which was her primary email address. Mm-hmm. She called me up and said, "Matt, I don't need your help. I have already set up an email address." And I said, "Oh, fantastic. Like, what's your email address?" She said her email address, @home. And I said, okay.
And I believe it was just her first name.
First name, last name.
@home.com.
And I said, what's at home? I've never heard of at home before. And she goes, no, because I'm now at home. I thought people would want to reach me at home.
So this is her new email address was at home.
Well, she's not at work anymore.
Yeah, she's no longer at
I said,
work,
what about when you're at the shops? I mean, I think we should set aside some time to talk about email addresses. I know your wife has an absolute belter from her first email address. I know you do. We all do. I think it's worth spending some time on.
Can I do, I think in the coming weeks, I think we'll do one of those Q&A things on Instagram. Someone's going to have to explain to me how to do it because I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But I would love to hear your original email address.
Oh, that is a good one.
Because everyone knows that once you actually want a job in the last 20 years, you have to change it to your first last name at gmail.com or something like that, or something professional, semi-professional, if you want to get a job. Because let's be honest, if you're a manager and you've got this...
Sexy boy at Hotmail.
Sexy boy 69er.
Two-ball dad 69 at hotmail.com. Yes.
Chunky lover 69 at hotmail.com. I can't imagine. It doesn't scream dependability to me. It doesn't scream.
Not at all.
But Matt, we have a brief topic today.
We touched on it last week.
We touched on it last week, and we just wanted to do a bit of a debrief.
Yeah, a bit of a debrief.
A bit of a debrief. We're going to take off Debra and do a debrief about Mother's Day. What did we do well?
Yeah.
What can we improve on? Matt, starting with you. Go.
Well, what I could improve on, but I can't improve on, and we touched on it last week. I went too big year one.
Yes, you did.
I went 100%. Too big year one.
You set the benchmark here.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I show my love through buying gifts.
Of course, lavish gifts.
I have no emotional connection to anyone.
And because you come from extreme wealth.
Exactly. That's how we've always done it. That's how we've always done it. But this year I found myself scratching my head, which is a dangerous thing because there's very little hair left up there. I ended up getting my wife something which leads me into what I've done well.
Okay, go ahead.
So what I could improve on is tapering down the gifts, and then maybe building back up to a really impressive thing. What I've done well is the gift that I've bought is an experience for dose.
So, and you would assume...
I would assume
that you will be...
I'll be very upset if I... So, not only I've bought my wife a great gift that's very thoughtful, I've also treated myself.
Of course.
And if you can't treat yourself, who can you treat? Yeah. Who can you treat? What also I haven't done well is my wife insisted that the Mother's Day now weekend...
Yes, it is a weekend.
Begins at Saturday morning. Mm-hmm. Saturday morning wake up to Friday night put down is the Mother's Day weekend. Sunday night put down is the Mother's Day weekend, which I agreed to. I was a broken man come Sunday. I was done with it. I was absolutely done with it.
It's funny but it's like I think, and like not saying all girls, but I feel like a lot of ladies. My mother's birthday runs for about 6 weeks. Yeah, especially her most recent milestone birthday, a couple of years ago. Yeah, 20. It went for a long period of time. It went for, and my sister, from
it's a big event.
She knows,
it's a big
obviously
event.
from my mother, but her birthday it's a series of events over 2 weeks. And I find that things like Mother's Day, they have to. It can't just be your Mother's Day. Yeah. We have to. It has to be a bit of a weekend, a bit of a how do you do, And
I'm asking, where does it stop? Is that next year? Is it going to be Friday as well? Am I to take Friday off?
Probably,
because I'll do it.
Take Monday off.
Be rude not to. But I don't remember last year Father's Day being a weekend.
No.
I think the wives, they've put their feud aside finally.
Yeah.
And spoken about this and said, we'll do this to them. And then we won't.
Should we jot it down for Father's Day?
We should
jot it down. So it's going to be Saturday through Sunday. Is that correct?
Yep.
Correct.
Saturday through Sunday. Mm-hmm. A bit of Monday.
What a treat.
Yeah.
What a treat.
And
We can talk about power tools for ages, you know what I mean? Because we're both big
yard
on that.
work.
Yard work.
The other thing I did well is that my wife insisted that Mother's Day paused while the Dragons game was on.
The football was on, yes.
Because she wanted to watch it as much as I did.
Of course, yeah.
So that was another thing I did well. But Chris, that's just a few things I did well. I'd like to hear how yours went.
Look, things I did well. You know, I insisted on my wife telling me exactly what she wanted and sending me a link to it weeks in advance.
That is a pro tip, and that is something I did not do well.
Because I've told this to we now have this great relationship where she knows if she leaves it up to me, she's gonna get an absolute dog shit present.
Yeah, that's the thing. Don't put us under. As I said previously, pressure in this case has not created diamonds.
No. White dog shit.
It's white dog shit. It's exactly.
I can't stress enough, and I've said it to her time and time again. You leave it up to me, and you're going to not get a very good present. And it's not because I'm a bad person. Well, it's a little bit because I'm a bad person. But I'm also not a thoughtful person, and I'm not creative at all in the slightest bit. So
I could agree.
If you want something that you like, let me know. Yeah, and I'll get it.
I'd much rather get you something that you want,
and that you'll actually use. Yeah, and there's no point in me taking a punt on something.
Yeah, imagine trying to buy her a dress. Could you imagine? Or some jewelry.
Yeah, forget it. Well, see, and this is the thing. I bought a jewelry, which was personal jewelry, but I probably wouldn't have picked it because I wouldn't have even realised it was an option.
Are you saying that you don't like it?
No, I'm saying I probably wouldn't have found it online to do it. You know, so she sent me the link. I got it. Boom, done and dusted. Yeah. So we topped it off with a little necklace, and then we topped off with just a bunch of snacks that my wife likes.
I mean, who's gonna be mad at a snack?
But how's this? The morning of, let my wife have a sleep in, and I realised I didn't actually have a card. I thought, does she need a card? And then I'm like, no, maybe.
It's a nice start.
So I ducked up to my local shopping centre right here. Honestly, I walked through my loading dock here, which is backs onto my house, and the amount of men up at the shops at 7:30 in the morning. I was there looking for cards, and there was about 8 other blokes at this news agency, scratching their heads looking for cards. And then if it wasn't just blokes looking for cards, all the other Woolies shopping centre, men and children. Yeah. As far as the eye can see.
Absolutely. I did my shopping the day before, luckily, because last year I made the mistake of going up there to get flowers. Another pro tip, do not buy flowers. It's like buying flowers on Valentine's Day. They see you coming from a mile away,
big time.
And they give you the shittest flowers for so expensively. I don't know where these florists get off. No. They get off.
Well, I don't know where they get off.
I don't know. I don't know about their personal lives. If you're a florist, write in. Tell us where you get off.
But I mean, what are the overheads with floristry? You know what I mean? I get slugged when I was buying my wife flowers until I told her how much. And I wish I had told her this years ago, but until I told her how much the flowers cost, then she was like, "Maybe don't get me flowers again." Like that.
And you would have inflated it a little bit.
Of course, I blew it out a little bit. It's always that sort of 20% rule. But but I would buy expensive flowers all the time. And don't get me wrong, they look lovely. Dead within a week. Yeah. And then once my wife realised how much they cost, she's just like, maybe don't get me flowers. I'm like, yeah, okay, good call. I wish I'd have told you this 8 years ago.
Here's the problem. Herein lies the issue. Now they've got the infinity flowers. We're sitting amongst some right now.
It's true. These flowers have stood the test of time.
They last forever.
They do.
And so, if you're talking bang for your buck...
Yeah, this is what you want to go with. The dead ones.
Yeah, but they're so expensive. Yeah. So now I'm back buying flowers again.
Yeah.
But I suppose eventually we'll have more flowers than house. So I don't know.
Well, it's lucky you're getting a bigger house.
It is lucky. That's why we have
to. You can jam more flowers.
When they say you grow out of your original house, it's because of all the flowers. All the infinity flowers.
Oh, very good, Matt. Very good.
Thank you. But it was a truly trying time. And again, I've made the mistake of saying I'll do all the nappy changes, all the feeds, all that sort of shit. And
I'm sure your wife appreciated it, though.
I don't know. It was more along the lines of this is what you should be doing all the time.
Yeah.
welcome to my world. A lot of snide remarks like that. I hate you.
Not saying like I love you and I'm so grateful for this amazing weekend you've given me.
No, she's a hard woman. No, I'm just kidding. She's a very lovely lady.
And a big shout out to the bulldog. She listens.
Do not call her the bulldog. This is one of those ones I'm going to have to get out in front of. That was solely based on her tenacity, as I have said many times. Tenacity of a bulldog.
Of course, yes.
The face of a mythical mermaid.
That's true. There's something else, Matt.
So, way to dig myself out of.
Wow, you've nailed it. You've really nailed it. But Matt, look, that's probably about all the time we have today.
I think all in all, it was a successful Mother's Day.
Yeah, 100%.
Just to wrap it up, put a nice tie bow on it.
100%. And look, and again,
the gals enjoyed themselves.
Big shout out to our wives, and I hope they did enjoy themselves. Because look, at the end of the day, we give them a bit of stick.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
They deserve it. They do a bit of stuff.
Yeah,
they deal with a bit of stuff. They deal with us.
We have like a give and take relationship where she gives me shit and I take it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Very good.
No, they do well to put up with us, our nonsense.
Yeah.
So big shout out to them. Well done. Good stuff.
But look, guys, I'm up. Matt, I'm up this week for the dad joke of the week, I believe. Now, because it is a bit of a casual episode, this one, we haven't gone with our formal hardcore structure,
we haven't gone with
topic like we would normally do.
We're usually a hardcore history, Dan Carlin type, 3-hour breakdown,
100%.
Deep dive podcast this week.
That's it.
Like a little bit more relaxed.
100%. Like, we're not doing your traditional, so we're just going casual. But what we are doing, Matt, is I'm going away from the online medium. And we've gone with...
how retro.
We've gone with our dad joke of the week, like, what would you call this? Deck of cards.
Deck of cards. We used to do our classic... Furl.
We used to furl and look.
Like fans of the show early last season, we would do the dad joke furl.
Before we discovered the internet, this is what we used to do. We used to go with our cards. We'd furl them to get a joke.
You take them to the pub and say, hey, boys, listen to this.
Would you get a load of... That's it. And they fit neatly into your pocket. And then I'd go, hey, guys, I've got a few humdingers over here. Who wants to suck on these eggs? You know, suck on these eggs. Sorry.
This is why we stopped going to the pub with you.
I can't apologise enough.
Hey guys, who wants to suck on this? Everyone was like, ooh.
It's weird they stopped letting me go. Oh, guys.
Oh, that's great.
Let me fill this bad boy
I hope you would.
Oh,
wow.
That's the noise it makes.
Yeah.
It
makes its own noise.
We've already got it.
Didn't need the sound effects.
Did one.
Sound effects. Okay.
Pretty good,
there you go. That is good.
I'm that guy that shuffles cards just by putting them all out on the table and moves them through each other.
When I first learned to shuffle cards, not that I can, I would just do the thing where I would just, that motion, but it would just be moving one card at a time.
Yeah,
so effectively, I just flip the deck. Everyone respects that guy. So.
All right, here we go. Here it comes.
I mean, why do the furl if you're just going to pick through them?
Because some of them are pretty bad.
Yeah, well, that's the point.
Okay. This is episode... Where are we up to?
15.
15. Season 2, episode 15.
Almost old enough to drive.
Dad joke of the week. Stop that. Why do seagulls fly over the sea?
I don't know, Chris. Why do they?
Because if they flew over the bay, they would be bagels.
That is dreadful.
Isn't it? I feel so uncomfortable.
What? I mean, it's... Yeah, okay. Look, take it to the bank.
Do you want to break it down? Do you want to break that joke down?
We could do a half-an-hour episode on why that joke is bad, but we won't. That's what... We'll leave that... Splatter that amongst your friends. Look, take it to the bay.
Yeah.
They'll love it down at the bay.
Take it to the bay and smoke it. Isn't there a song? Was it Down by the Bay?
Down by the Bay. Where the seagulls fly.
Of course. Don't start, Matt. Don't start. But look, guys, that's about all the time we have today for today's huge, big episode. Thanks so much for tuning in.
You know what the best thing about it is, Chris? That's all the time we have for today, but we'll have more time next week.
Next week, exactly right. And look, guys, we've got a pipeline, and Matt's shoved some big stuff in there. He's shoved his big stuff in there, and these next few weeks, stay tuned, all right? Because we've got some huge stuff shooting out of our pipeline.
Yeah. No, we're not making promises that we can't in any way.
I'll be real disappointed if we don't have anything big next week. No, guys, we've got some big stuff coming up. So stay tuned. Listen next week, just like you have this week. And if you haven't...
Do the same thing.
Yeah, and just keep doing the same thing. Tell your friends. Tell your mum to listen.
Mother's Day.
But look, guys, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Two Bald Dads. I'm Chris.
And I'm Matt.
And we'll see you more times.
Mahalo.